What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. So I was out trying to come up with like a video for y'all, and guess who I ran into? My friend Jason, aka Jason Skates, who just so happens to be one of the most talented dance skaters that I know. So today I roped him into teaching you how to sit spin and toe spin. Wanna learn? Keep watching.
Let's do it.
Queer Girl Straight Skates is a YouTube channel all about roller skating. So if you're interested in learning how to roller skate, or if you want to see reviews or feel the roller skate lifestyle, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every week.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Skates on Instagram. I am so excited to be teaching you toe spins and sit spins today. So let's get started. So there's a few prerequisites that you should know before we start learning how to toe spin. For one, you need to be comfortable on your toes, and it sounds like crazy talk, but it's possible. So how do I practice this, Jason? Great. There's a few things that you need to know when you first learn how to get on your toes. So toe manuals are a great way to get started. As you can see, my heels are up and I just pick them up and put them down, pick them up and put them down. Toe manuals are a great way for you to get comfortable understanding your body weight and how to distribute that. And help you get confident too on your toes, because once we start toe spinning, you're going to be on your toes. What? So Jason, I'm feeling very comfortable and confident on my toes now. Well, congratulations, I'm very proud of you for getting to this step. So once you're comfortable on your toes, we're gonna start practicing our spins. So the best way to break down a spin is think of a clock. So right now, I'm currently at the 12 o'clock position facing you. What I'm going to do is elevate my toes and move at least to 1 o'clock, right? So we're clock ticking. Here's 12, we're gonna lift up our toes, turn our shoulders and face the 1 o'clock position. As you can see, my heels lift up with my toes, my body is square, and my shoulders are parallel to the ground. Everything is very straight. Once you feel comfortable going to the 1 o'clock position, start making your way to the 3 o'clock position. So now we are facing a quarter of the way. As you can see, one of my wheels is pivoting behind me, the other is going forward, and still my shoulders, my arms are parallel to the ground. You can see how those toe manuals are coming in handy now. And after you get to the 3 o'clock position, go ahead and make your way to the 6 o'clock position. Now that we're going into a little bit of a 180 spin, really important to know your shoulders have to be level with the ground. If you start moving those shoulders, your spins will be moving and wobbling too, right? So, ready? Here we go. Bend your knees, keep your toes pointed to the 12 o'clock position, and rotate to the 6 o'clock position. Same thing for the 9 o'clock position. Turn your body, but this time you're gonna start leading with your shoulders a little bit. And when I say lead with your shoulders, pretend somebody is calling your name from behind. I personally imagine someone saying, Jason, look, look. And I turn my body to follow. Your shoulders are crucial when learning how to spin because it will give you that momentum that you need to push off from your spin. Make sure to keep your knees bent and let your toes follow your shoulders. Now that you're feeling comfortable going to the 9 o'clock position, we're gonna attempt to do a full spin. So there's a few ways to start. One, you can have your arms at a 90-degree angle, your feet aligned with your shoulders, and you're gonna twist your body and allow your toes to follow. The other way to do it is to bring your arms in once you're feeling a little bit more comfortable and advanced and into an X position. This will give you the speed, okay? So we're gonna start with the first way. Knees bent, aligned with shoulders, arms out, and bring everything in for a spin. The other way to do it is to cross your arms in. That's a little bit more advanced. That needs your shoulders to be perfectly symmetrical with the ground. And my favorite way to do it as well is to keep your arms out. This will give your shoulders kind of like a forced hold to make sure that you are being parallel with the ground. So a few issues that some skaters have when they're learning how to spin is that they do the death wobble. So the death wobble looks kind of like this, and then they fall. We want to avoid falling. So why does the death wobble happen? Well, it mainly happens in the shoulders. When your shoulders aren't parallel with the ground, your body will follow. So how to avoid the death wobble? Keep your arms out, your head up, and allow your shoulders to relax, right? So keep your knees bent. As you can see, my shoulders are parallel and symmetrical with the ground. And if I don't have them parallel, my spins will look something like this. It's a lot harder. I instantly just don't feel connected with my body and kind of just start tilting, almost setting myself up for failure. Don't want to do that, right? Once you feel comfortable with toe spins, there is a variation called a sit spin, which is my favorite. Sit spin is an advanced skater move, but I throw titles out the window. I don't believe in that. I just do what I feel. So what does a sit spin look like? So sit spins are fun because when you're learning them, you're already kind of close to the ground, so if you fall, it doesn't really hurt that much. And I fell quite a lot when learning it. When you learn how to sit spin, there's a few things you should be comfortable with. One, again, being on your toes. The second is having your body weight go down. So practicing all your four wheels on the floor and bending your knees all the way down to the ground. When you do get into a sit spin, make sure that your head is actually looking forward and up and you're not looking down. That will send your body weight forward. You want to keep everything in the center, right? Always think center. Once you feel comfortable with your four wheels on the ground, you can bring those two wheels up to the floor once you feel comfortable on your four wheels. Same thing, bring that body weight down and down. I'm making you do exercise now. And once you want to get into a sit spin, it starts the exact same way as the toe spin. So whatever direction you feel comfortable with spinning, when you get into it, bend your knees, keep your head up, keep your arms out, and drop your knees to the floor, right? And it's normal if you fall. It's actually harder to do when you go slower. But when you want to gain speed, bring those arms in. Same thing. Allow your shoulders to stay parallel with the floor and practice, practice, practice is the most important part. If you want to build your sit spin strength, what muscles do you need to work out? Well, the muscle is the thigh and calf muscles. We want to practice as much squatting as you can. That way we can get comfortable when we actually bring our body weight down to the floor. A lot of the weight is pressured onto your toes, and to hold that, you need to be able to practice being on your knees or allowing your thighs to get as much strength as they can, because those thighs are working overtime right now. I can tell you that. You're gonna feel a lot of burn. That's normal, but that just means that you're building the strength needed to get into a sit spin. So let me do another demonstration and show you what that looks like.
Oh my God, Jason Skates, what are you doing here?
Queer Girl Straight Skates? What?
Hi!
Hello.
What are you teaching people something or what's going on?
I have a lovely group of curious people learning how to toe spin and sit spin.
Oh my God, I want to learn.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's get started then.
Okay,
all right.
Sounds good.
Can I see a toe spin?
Okay. So, I don't actually know how to
great. Okay, well, you just
actually
missed the seminar actually, but don't worry, I can give you the spark notes on how to get into a toe spin.
Okay.
So are you comfortable with toe manuals?
Yeah.
Yay, beautiful. Okay, well, we got that step down. Great. So once we get comfortable with our toe manuals, what we're going to do is break down our spin into kind of like this 12 o'clock hour position, right?
Okay.
So right now we're facing the 12 o'clock. We are going to do a slight toe manual. We're going to turn our shoulder and allow our toes to fall out to the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock position on a clock, right?
Okay.
So bring your heels up and then you can go back to 12 o'clock. Great. When we are spinning, make sure to allow your shoulders to be upright, our head up, and elevate your heels to the, yeah, beautiful. I see you're going to the 3 o'clock position. All right.
I feel like this part is the only part I've got.
That's a lie. So let's go to the 6 o'clock position. Same thing. Allow your shoulders to be symmetrical with the ground below you, your head up, and allow your toes to follow your shoulders, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh God.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And what we're doing is actually a little bit more difficult versus if we just got into a spin, because what we're working on is control, right? So we're slowing down the spin a little bit more just to start building up that leg muscle and getting used to actually allowing our body to follow our toes, okay?
Are my feet next to each other or are they staggered?
When I started learning how to spin, I allowed when I first started learning how to spin, I kept my feet at about shoulder width distance, right?
Okay.
And what this is gonna do, it's gonna allow your body weight to be a little bit more centered, versus if we had our legs spread wide open, that's gonna be a lot more difficult to spread, or versus very tight in.
Or like, what about this versus this? It's always gonna be next to each other like this?
Well, ideally, when you get into a toe spin, you want your feet to be parallel with one another, next to one another. I found staggering helps when learning how to do a heel toe spin, which is another variation. But ideally, if we want to build correct form, our feet are going to be parallel next to each other, okay?
Got it.
So let's try going to the 6 o'clock position again, all right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, that was magic. We kind of had this nice chemistry.
Oh, what's going on?
Okay, cool. You want to go to a 9 o'clock position now?
Yep.
Okay, time is of the essence. Here you go, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I was shaking the whole
magic.
time.
Okay.
But I
Fabulous.
did it. I did
cool.
it.
I totally forgot to mention, so when you are starting to learn to spin, it can be a little bit difficult to learn how to gain momentum. Pumping is a brilliant source of energy that we can create. That way our body can learn how to spin. So what is pumping? Pumping is bringing our legs in and out and in and out and in and out. When we did that spin to a 9 o'clock position, you saw Rebel kind of bringing her legs in and bringing them out again. This is gonna give you that momentum to help the spin come full around. It can be a little bit more difficult to do when you first start, but it's not impossible. So can I see your spin again to a 9 o'clock position? Beautiful. So if you can see, her legs came in for a second and brought them out. It was very slight, but it was just enough to bring her around, okay? So keep that in mind when learning how to start a toe spin, okay? Are you feeling brave enough to get to the full 180 spin or 360 spin?
Yeah, I feel brave.
All right. I believe in you, okay?
Okay.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, it wasn't pretty, but I got around.
What goes around comes around, Wes.
Okay.
Magic. Okay, now, are you feeling bold enough to do one on your own? I want to point out the great things you were doing and the things that we can improve on.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, great. There was a few things that Rebel did. Well, actually a lot of great things that Rebel did, right? First, she made it all the way around, and that is very difficult to do when learning how to toe spin, so let's give her that. Her shoulders parallel with the ground. If we took a measuring stick, just held it straight across, you would see her shoulders came through all the way around, did not go up, did not jostle down. There may have been a little bit of shakiness. That's okay, that's normal. I do that too. But the important thing is our shoulders should be symmetrical with the ground all the time. Her toes looked great. You saw she felt comfortable in that toe position and wasn't kind of jostling around as she kind of went through. Let's see it again. 1, 2, 3.
Oh God.
Magic. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. 540 spin. Yes, found it. That was awesome. So like we discussed in the beginning, Rebel started with her hands out, right? Although her hands were out, she wasn't keeping them in an angled position. They were up and level to bring her shoulders up, right? And when she brought everything in, she twisted her shoulder almost like someone was calling her name behind her. And that allowed her to give her as much momentum to go through 540 degrees. Look at that.
Wow.
Magic.
I feel like I definitely lost it at the end, but I don't know whether it was just because I was scared or because I stopped holding my core. Or maybe a combo of all of them.
I think you have the confidence in you, but it might have been a little scary. You mentioned a great point, core. So what does core mean? When we get into a spin, we want to make sure our body weight is centered and tight, right? So we're squeezing that core in. That way we can have everything be in the center, right? If you spin a ball on your finger, it's going to spin around that axis. And if you start wobbling that axis, the ball will fall over. So we want to think of ourselves like we're that basketball and there's a finger holding us up. The best way to do that is squeeze that core like Rebel said, and to keep your shoulders up and your head up as well, okay? So I want to try something with you.
Okay.
When you do bring your arms around, bring them in a crossing position.
Okay.
And squeeze your knuckles.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Squeeze your knuckles and squeeze the core simultaneously.
Okay.
Let's try that out.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Magic. Cool. That was awesome. So
I felt like I was going like this.
that's okay. That's okay. As long as you can feel it. But a great tip I have when learning how to spin is squeezing your knuckles and your arms will kind of create this like upper body tightness, right? And for me, a great way to remember to keep my upper body tight is to squeeze my knuckles in, right? If we have loose fingers, our body tends to get kind of wiggly and jiggly, which is great if you want to flow. But for spins, we want to get as tight as we can in our upper body and our core. And when we do squeeze our knuckles in, our shoulders remain tight as well, and they don't get loose, right? Versus if my hands were just kind of wobbly and made everything kind of a little messy. We don't want that.
So many good tips. What? So many good tips. I've never really concentrated on like having my shoulders even before. Like I never really thought about that. And bringing like tightness to my arms and my wrist makes me feel like I can strengthen my core. Okay, so like I've always thought that I don't have a core, so I've just been like, this is impossible. But I think that everyone actually does have a core. It's just like, you know, it's hidden. Maybe it's very small, but you have one. It
looks different for everybody, but I promise you, everyone has a core. Everyone can do this. It's not impossible at all. All right, Rebel, I saw your spins are looking amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing, right? Give her a round of Rebel applause.
Wow.
How are your sit spins?
I've never even tried it, so I have
good
no idea. Like, do I need to be good at? No. I don't? No. Oh, really?
No. You're already good.
Oh, okay.
You're a star, kid.
Oh, I'm a star. All right.
All right, so let's go through the prerequisites of the sit spin again. So first, let's bring our body weight down, we're gonna keep our 4 wheels on the ground and just gently descend our body. Magic. And bring it back up.
I scrunched into a little fat ball. Wait, do that again? Oh, God.
Magic.
No, this is as low as I can get.
Beautiful. That is a spin. That is a sit. You're sitting, girl.
Okay.
We're going to bring it back up. And one more time.
My tummy's going to get the weight.
Yay. And then bring it back up. Okay, beautiful. So you can see Rebel's weight is evenly distributed all across all 8 wheels. Magic. Okay, great. Now that we feel comfortable on our 8 wheels, let's try bringing them on 4. So we currently have jam plugs in. For the sit spin, you are actually going to need to use jam plugs since our weight is going to bring our toes up. Let's go ahead and stand on our jam plugs, and same thing, squat down to the floor. Magic.
Okay,
so
this
you
is
can
way
see
more comfortable than the other one.
So the other one was building quad. This 4-wheel position is gonna give you balance, right? So we are currently balanced all of our weight onto our 2 wheels on either side and our jam plug. And let's go ahead and try getting back up. This part can be a little bit more difficult. And up. Dang, yeah. Talk about quad strength. Look at her go. All right, cool. One more time just for show. And jam plugs and down. And up. Magic. Great. Rebel has really great form. Her shoulders remain symmetrical with the ground. As you can see, her weight is coming down in a center. If we drew a straight line, you can see her weight is centered. Her head is right above her skates. That's the exact position that we want for this move. Beautiful job, Rebs. And let's actually start the spin.
Oh God, okay.
So now we're gonna combine what we learned in the first part of the video with learning how to toe spin and getting on our, in that bent squat position. So really important, you have the spin in you, remain confident. We are gonna start spinning. And as you can see, my toes are coming in and out, pumping, giving me speed. My shoulder and my arms, why am I gaining so much speed?
You are gaining so much speed. Helicopter.
My arms are out and symmetrical with the ground below me. Once I feel comfortable, I'm going to bring that body weight in and go on the floor. And when I was starting to learn how to sit spin, I would just fall. That's normal. Your body's getting accustomed to quite a few things. One, being in momentum and bringing our weight down, and also just having to be on the toes while in a squat position. Like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't think I'd be able to do this last year, to be honest. So let's try it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Are your jam plugs like scraping the ground, or are they above the ground still?
So when I first started learning it, it helped me to keep one jam plug on the ground when learning how to spin. So for example, bringing one and kind of getting in this squat position, that would help me just get familiar with bringing my weight down altogether. But it's very, very normal when learning how to sit spin to just do this. Because
view of what's to come.
That's
Go into forward.
Yeah.
exactly, make it work. When I sit spin now, my jam plugs slightly graze the ground. Sometimes they do press on the ground for stability, but for the most part, it's all in the wheels. That's what's gonna give us the spin, okay?
All right,
Yay.
So let's do it together. On the count of 3. Do you want to start with a spin first and go into sit spin, or just go straight into it?
I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do right now.
Let's see what's gonna happen.
Tell me what to do.
Okay, let's just go into a sit spin.
Okay.
So starting with a toe spin and bringing it down, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Magic, magic, look at that.
Hey, at least I went down. I didn't think I was gonna go down, to be honest.
Look at that, I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Can I see it? Fabulous job.
I'm not going down enough, right?
That's okay. So that's the point of practicing and drilling. We want to build that strength, right? So really important, Rebel, just make sure your arms are up and keeping your shoulders up and tight. This will avoid you kind of pivoting. And I know there's a lot of things going on down here when you're actually coming down. Easier said than done. A really great tip that I've learned, when you start to spin, bring your arms into this parallel position. You can even make a diamond as you're bringing your weight down. That way your shoulders remain parallel, okay? Magic. Your shoulders look a lot better. Okay. The spin was a little bit more controlled. Now it's just building that strength, right?
Yeah.
Magic,
magic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Wait, do a regular spin. It's okay. Now
What the hell? Did you see that?
Okay.
Go on your toes. And then stop, and then go on your toes. Those 2 different. That spin was great.
That was awesome.
That was the best toe spin I've ever done. That was incredible.
You know, one thing I actually noticed too, when I first started learning how to toe spin, or when I first started learning how to sit spin, learning how to put myself in that position actually helped build my strength needed to get into a toe spin. Like,
that makes sense.
It's like pushing yourself more can actually like help you with like the
step before. Like, don't feel limited by trying sit spins if you haven't nailed the toe spin.
Oh yeah, when I first started learning how to sit spin, my toe spin wasn't mastered at all. It was very, very like wobbly, but I just threw myself on the ground and hoped for the best. And because I would just drill that over and over and getting used to actually bringing my body weight down and up and playing around with a lot of different body weight distributions, it benefited my toe spins in the long run. You don't have to go down immediately. You can just start with bringing your knees down a little bit, up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's try it out. 4.
4. Oh God, I'm scared. I'm more scared
It's
to do
okay.
that for some
It's
reason.
okay. The reason why I think it can be a little bit scary is because you're forced to build that strength. You're forced to use all your muscles in that moment, right? And you can feel it too. You can feel, even when I do it, I feel a lot more pressure to keep my form up. Because when you bring all your body weight down, everything is kind of together in one piece versus in a, a very longer axis, right?
So if your thighs are burning, you're doing something right.
Exactly. But if you're bruising up, you're also doing something right.
Yeah.
Magic. Nice job, dude.
I feel so much more confident in my sit spit, my non-existent sit spins, but my toe spins, I feel so much more confident. And I feel like so many of the tips you gave, like about like the way your body's supposed to be and like the way it's supposed to feel and the way your feet are, like it makes so much more sense. I think I just have to practice like a crap ton.
Already I can see the difference when we started this little impromptu lesson. When you first started learning how to spin versus now, like I saw that like spin that you kept going and going, and I was like very surprised.
I was surprised too.
Actually, I wasn't surprised. I know you have it in you. I still remember when you first started learning how to spin, and you were just so dedicated. And that's the thing. You need to be dedicated. You need to have love and passion for this.
Yeah.
It's easy to be discouraged, but no skater will tell you they did it on the first try. It's just a matter of practicing and practicing over and over and putting your love and soul into it, truly.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And look, we have this
awesome.
amazing view too to keep
know.
us going and keep us motivated.
Yeah, what an amazing place.
Right.
What an amazing
to bump
teacher.
into you here.
I know, so random that I just ran into you while you happened to be teaching the masses
Well,
how
it was
to
my pleasure.
toe and sit spin.
It was my pleasure. I'm sure the masses appreciate it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Jason, thank you so much for coming on here. How can the people find you and how can they support you?
Yeah, you can find me at Instagram at Jason Skates. And if you feel inclined to purchase any Moxie products at moxieskates.com, use code Jason for $5 off your purchases over $35.
And hey, what's your Venmo, just in case the people feel inspired to give it?
My Venmo is Jason Acosta, Jasonacosta.
So if you feel like you really learned something and you want to support Jason, then go ahead and throw some money towards it. And if you want to support me or this channel, head on over to www.cheerstothequeers.com. You can get a bunch of really cute stuff like this flamin' beanie.
Look at that.
Or many different accessories, laces, etc., etc. But most importantly, cheers to the queers!
I've got a rebel soul. 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 Just get down with it, down with it, down.
I'm the jacket.